Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome along to Marvel Snap Zone. Hopefully your day is going a bit better than mine. Unfortunately, a bit of a different video today, folks. In case you missed it, I currently have no internet. Currently working with my provider, trying to get this thing sorted, but I've had an outage since middle of the week. And I've been hotspotting my phone to kind of do what I can when and where possible. But unfortunately that means that I'm a little limited in the content I can actually make at this moment in time. But the grind doesn't stop. We still want to put out some stuff on the YouTube channel as and where possible. So at the moment, I'm recording some games on Marvel Snap by hotspotting off my phone. And trying to finish the climb to Infinite because I can't stream currently as much as I wish I could. And then kind of hopping to an external location to go and get the video uploaded so you guys can still check it out at your earliest convenience. So that's kind of the plan at this moment in time. Going to do my best to just kind of keep on completing the climb to Infinite that I would have finished on stream, to hopefully actually be able to finish it on stream at the point where my internet returns. So, all going to plan, that's what we'll be doing over the next small handful of videos, with a few things in the middle, I'm sure, if things pop up that I can cover from a distance. Okay, so we're going to try and start that thing off today, and we're going to start things off with a little bit of a deck that I've been playing, well, meant to play more on stream and didn't get the chance to. One that we know is quite good right now and worth finishing the climb with, the old Sera Surfer Shell. This deck list will be available for you in the description if you want it, so you can go and grab it yourself down there. But hopefully we can have some enjoyable games. Even though I can't be live with you folks, we can hopefully showcase a little bit of what this deck is capable of doing in the meantime. And I'm sure I'll swap deck from day to day while we finish the climb and all that kind of stuff, so I'm sure it won't all be surfery nonsense, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. And hopefully we can showcase some good games for a deck like this, albeit somewhat more alone than I normally would be. Cool, so reasonable start. We have our Sera, but no Surfer. You'll find that most of the time with this deck you don't have all that many plays on turn 1 and turn 2. It's only really Iceman and Scorpion should you find them. We get gifted a Zabu that will do not an awful lot for us, but I guess good to know that our opponent does have it currently. We'll take some stats off their stuff with this Scorpion. They have a Colossus, okay. Colossus Zabu, not a thing I'm used to seeing outside of Rickety Bridge. So we draw ourselves a Killmonger and a Storm. So I'm going to go for the old 1-2 punch in this case of Storm into Juggernaut. Kind of hoping to find our Surfer before it's too late. Because we are in pretty good shape here. If we find the Surfer in this draw step, I'll probably snap with the intention of going Sera into stuff. Polaris isn't bad, but it's probably not enough to snap in this spot, given that we don't currently know how good our final turn of the game actually looks. No Brood, no Surfer. Finding them both in time would be quite difficult, so I think we're just going to be passive, hold fire for a second, and see what we draw. After all, this is turn 4. Opponent's big old first Zabu turn. I'm sure they got plenty of things to play. Lizard and Rock Slide, sure. So kind of half of a Zabu turn, really. Makes it way harder for us to find our... find our Surfer, though, which we certainly do not at this moment in time. So the Sera is always the play, but we are probably in a fair bit of danger here, unfortunately. Opponent will White Queen themselves one of our many 3s. It's impossible for us to know exactly what. And then does pull the Scorpion over, sure. Well, we drew a Surfer. That's interesting. Is this ever enough? Because realistically, it's this, right? Which is a whole, what, 12 plus 6? A whole 18 power mid. Pulls the Lizard over, unfortunately. Unless they fill. I don't mind trying this. This is pretty good. They do fill. With a Juggernaut. Oh. Well, that was not what we had in mind. It kind of works. Didn't get punished for an opposing Juggernauts coming to sweep our stuff. Nice. Opponent played with more of our 3-drops than we did, which is certainly something. Let's keep the wheels spinning. See if we can't have some more goodies with this one. I think the deck is pretty clearly very, very good. We actually just haven't played this one very much on stream. Basically at all. Something I should probably look to remedy in the near future. We've been toying around with the Darkhawk deck at the request of a few people. More like negative stuff, that kind of thing. But not an awful lot of this one. Rickety Bridge is a location I'm kind of sick of existing already, to be honest. This deck's pretty good into it, though. We do have Mr. Fantastic. We do have Juggernaut to try and steal it on turn 6. There is a few things you can do with this deck into Rickety Bridge that make it a little bit more bearable. But for the most part, this location kind of sucks. Not a massive fan. No turn 2 play for us. Not all that uncommon. So we do have our Brood, we do have our Sera, no Surfer at the moment. Brood's a little awkward with Rickety Bridge existing, to be honest, because it takes up a lot of space, but that space is often well used when you're looking at buffing it all up with a Surfer later on. We do find a Killmonger, which seems pretty good here, actually. Let's consider if we want to do this right now. Getting rid of the Quinjet has some pros. Waiting for more stones to come down has some pros. It's kind of interesting. No Sera this game from the Dream Dimension is something that we kind of have to keep in mind. So I think I'm just going to Brood here. See if there's some more stones knocking around. Opponent will armor the Rickety Bridge. That's pretty good for us, I think. But does mean the Space Stone is now safe from being Killmongered away. Multiple Dream Dimensions, sure. So I think we are in a bit of danger here. No Surfer is pretty problematic. So I think we're just gonna. I kind of want to Mr. Fantastic, put some stats into the 2 on the side. Look to Killmonger on turn 5 when everything costs 5. Let our opponent play as many 1s as possible. We clear the Soul Stone this way now too. Storm is a bit late, unfortunately. Gonna need this Surfer, and we're gonna need it pretty bad, I think. If we want a shot at winning multiple locations here. Opponent with the Lockjaw. Okay. We'll clear all the 1s. Well, all the ones that we can clear anyway. We obviously can't remove the Space Stone and the Time Stone. They're hidden away underneath an armor. And we do find the Surfer. Okay. So in that case, I should probably just be looking to keep whatever my opponent plays out of the Lockjaw lane. I think. Opponent agrees. They are just out of here. Didn't even need to draw the Surfer. They would have left anyway. Very nice. Very cool. Alright. We'll keep it up. See if we can't get up to 95 in today's video. And see if I can't do like a rank, I guess, per day. They tentatively tell me to expect my internet to return to normal by Tuesday. So I got a couple of days to fill between now and then. And I do apologize. Obviously, I know it's outside of my control. But it still kind of sucks from a content perspective. Like, people might wonder what I mean by, like, being limited, but, like, I don't have access to my normal assets and that kind of stuff. I can't just, like, go and download photos of pictures, like, photos of cards and stuff. None of my editing presets can be accessed while I'm offline. It's a real sugar show. But at least I can kind of hotspot enough to gain access to Snap so that I can do something like this at least. Hopefully that'll tide you over while you wait for me to return to normal functionality. Alright, Project Pegasus is pretty disgusting here, actually. I think we are just going to go... I kind of want a Fantastic Storm. I think this is kind of the line of play I want to take. Opponent with the Brood. So, Surfer Mirror Match, I guess. Storm out New York. Take away a chunk of space from my opponent. Seems pretty good. Onslaught Citadel. That's mostly irrelevant, I think, for us. This Dragonaut is a disgusting draw. Given I have my Surfer, I think I'm snapping. Opponent is out of here. Yep, seems good. Seems good to me. We will take those. On to the next one. Yes, but do know you folks that normally join me live, I miss you dearly. I'll be back as soon as I can, I promise. Strange Academy. Okay. No early play for us here so far. Scorpion would be nice. Sera would be nice. Those are kind of the two major ones we'd like to see here to keep us on track. Sera does count, so no turn 2 play. But we are going to be set up to hopefully have the big old turn 6. Opponent with a lizard. Sure. So they're going to have priority for most of this, I would think. Okay. So I'm going to try and take care of Strange Academy before it starts shuffling things into the other location I storm. A little unfortunate to see my opponent pass here, to be honest. Not really what we wanted to see. But we'll go for the Juggernaut play. Opponent with Electro. Okay, so Galactus is a possibility. Ramp here is a possibility. Could be a number of things. We obviously struggle into Galactus specifically, but thankfully the Juggernaut remedies that from being an issue. Okay, so now we're just going to go Sera into the Vault, I think, and then look to go... Maybe we don't. Maybe we Brood into the Vault. Brood into the Vault seems good. And we look to go, like... Polaris Surfer or Fantastic Surfer. Is if we play Sera now, there's no space for our Brood to ever do anything. I think we're supposed to do this. Opponent will Doctor Doom. So just traditional Electro ramp by the looks of it. I think this one is going to be quite hard to win. So we Polaris with the intention of pulling either Lizard or Sunspot out. Is the plan. We don't beat an Odin. Odin ruins our day, but we do beat other things, so don't mind too much. I feel like if the Odin was there, it's probably on the table already. Heimdall? Well, that was not one that I expected to see. That is definitely a play you are allowed to make. Very nice. Opponent navigated that one well. Heimdall's pretty sick. Normally the defeats get removed from this somewhat, just because it makes... I know it kind of sucks to say this. People just leave videos when you lose, which is fine, but like Heimdall in the ramp deck is pretty hot. That one probably stays, I would think. Okie dokie. Altar of Death is not good for us, but we'll probably end up storming it out. Ooh, Sinister London. Okay, now I'm snapping. Hand is quite good. I would like more cubes, please. Oh, people play a Wasp into the Altar of Death. It has died. Wasp is gone. Project Pegasus. Well, that... That makes this quite easy, I think. Do we just storm out Sinister London? We do have reveal priority. Maybe we do that. Yeah, let's do that. That way our opponent shouldn't be able to get into Altar of Death. Seems pretty good. Well, not easily anyway.
Wind, aid my hand.
And then our whole hand just costs like nothing. Very cool. So opponent drawing some goodies with Jane Foster maybe. So we're just gonna go Fantastic Polaris. A little worried about getting leeched. That's something I should be worried about. I feel like if they had the leech, we'd have seen it already. There is the Thor in the wrong order. Doesn't have the hammer drawn by our friend Jane Foster. Killmonger. That's also fine. Have we got an Infinite coming here, maybe? Looks like it might be an Infinite. Infinite plus hammer would make me quite sad, but we do beat it, I believe, thanks to Brood being Brood. Might encourage our opponent to give us 4 cubes, though, if they think we can't beat an Infinite right. They are indeed out of here. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. We'll take our 2 cubes and be happy about it. Okie dokie, a little bit more Sera Surfer. Been a while since we've played this deck other than today. Hopefully it can do a good job at carrying us up the ladder just a little bit. He says. Windsnipe is a username that would concern me if I was live right now. But unfortunately, I am not. Carmitage is a good location for us. Finding the Sera here too. If we find the Surfer, I'm probably just clicking my fingers and doing my best Thanos impression. We do not. Okay. Well, I would like my opponent's hand to shrink significantly. Is that deemed acceptable? Looks like it is. Hell's Kitchen. So we draw the Iceman for free, and then we find a Killmonger. We're just got a fantastic mid here. 5 cards in deck. Drawing the Surfer should be pretty likely here. We're more than 50%. Opponent with their Zabu. Sure. We find Storm. Okay. That's interesting. So with no Juggernaut, I am a little concerned about storming, but we do have the Brood to go behind it. Alternatively, we can just stick this in Mojo World and be done with it. It's kind of intriguing. I think I'm going to go with the Brood line here, to be honest. I might regret this, but fill up Mojo World. Get our opponent's hand a little bit icy. Well, the Dracula going into Mojo World kind of confuses me, because that's like the worst place for that, surely. So looking for that Surfer. Surfer is where the magic lies right now. I guess maybe not if we're just getting double Spidey'd. Man, isn't this fun and interactive? Oh, dude. I mean, we're just never winning here, right? So. Oh, double Spider-Man. Fun. Fun, 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 fun. Not sure why my opponent didn't snap, to be honest. I think there's a lot of the time that I just like happily stay around there if they snap, because you know my hand is obviously quite good as it is with the Sera, and if I have the Surfer, like I'm definitely not going anywhere. So get your extra cube, get your value. Value is good. Elysium. Elysium is Usually pretty good for this deck. Basically means you have to play Sera ahead of time. You just get to play all the 3s out instead on turn 5. It's quite nice. Baxter building. That's not terrible. I think we'll just fantastic mid here. We might end up turning the Baxter building into something else, depending on what our opponent is up to. We shall see. Polaris. Sure. Iceman is now in the Baxter building. It's mostly okay, I think. Danger Room. So we do find a Surfer. I think I am fine to storm out the Danger Room here, to be honest. And hopefully draw either Brood or Juggernaut to go behind it. If not, we probably just Maximus behind it. Would be my initial thought process. Opponent will get a bit fantastic over there as well. And the old Miles Morales. Very nice. I love seeing Miles C play. It's really fun with like Juggernaut and Polaris and stuff. Card doesn't see enough play as it is. Okay, well now we probably are in a bit of an awkward spot, but we're going to go Cosmo Maximus over here, stop our opponent drawing cards, try and lock up the flooded zone. Sadly, no on-reveal priority means we are the big sad in turning off Jessica Jones. But we're looking okay here. Part of me just wants to Polaris mid in case I don't draw another 3. I think it's probably wrong though. If I draw exactly Scorpion or Sera, I'll be sad. So opponent now knows I have the Surfer because they have gained a copy of it in their hand, which is annoying but fine. Nice. That works equally well. So I can't snap here. Snapping is mostly just going to be incorrect, basically always, because my opponent knows I have the Silver Surfer, so... Wow. Okay. I'm curious. I'm willing to lose some cubes here. Opponent going to be surfing as well. Wow. Double surfing. Double surfing, no good. Well, if I'd known that was their plan, I probably would have snapped back myself. But, I guess they just accepted that double surfer was always going to be good, but kind of got punished by the Miles Morales side of their deck and stuff that just kind of didn't come through there with Zabu. Interesting. Okay, Dark Dimension is usually pretty good for this deck, I think. Gives you the ability to hide Brood Surfer sometimes, which is quite nice. Well, oh, that's the wrong one. We'll just Scorpion our opponent. You can definitely see why this deck is so strong and why it's considered to be so strong by so many people. It's just, Parker! It's just so consistent. It just does its thing basically always, and you love to see it. So we're going to tuck the Brood behind the Dark Dimension. Hopefully find the Surfer. Opponent will Polaris or Scorpion over. We don't really care about that. It's largely indifferent where the Scorpion goes. So we'll go Fantastic Iceman. Very much looking for the Surfer in the next 2 draws. We are 50-50 to find it. And we'll be A-okay, I think. Okay, one more shot. So we're going to go Sera. I know it's very tempting to Enchantress the opposing Zabu, but I don't think that's ever where we want to be. If we're winning this game, it's because we're playing 3 cost cards next turn. Hopefully one of them being the Silverman. We get Spidey'd. And Jessica Jones, so... And we do find it. Okay. So now we go... Polaris, Maximus, Surfer. And we should be A-okay. Not going to be too many things that beat us here, with us only getting spideyed once. But its White Queen is fine. Enchantress also fine. We no longer care about the Sera or the Fantastic, really. Shang-Chi, unfortunately for you, coming down too early. Perfect. Look at that. Exactly how we drew it up. 2 to go. See if we can't have this deck take us over the 95 threshold as we look to keep going. Lamentis 1 is not a good location for this deck. We do, however, get given the keys to the mansion. So, not going to be going anywhere because we can win this game. We found the Brood, the Surfer, and the Sera. And the Storm and the Juggernaut. So, really good shot we can actually win this one, even though half of our deck never found its way into the game, which is quite funny. Well, now we're going to be drawing rocks, which is fine. I guess we weren't drawing anything of note anyway. So we're going to go Storm Juggernaut on a location here and hope we guess correct about where our opponent wants to play. I'm going to remove Titan in case they have multiple 6-drops in their hand. Unfortunately for us, they did choose to go there with the Zabu. Had to take a guess on the 50-50. But we're going to be okay anyway here to Juggernaut away. We can throw a rock in here. There's really no reason not to throw a rock in here. I guess in case my opponent might be some kind of weird hazmat combo deck, but outside of that. They just Enchantress their own Zabu. I guess they know there's no other 4s in their hand, maybe? They just don't care anymore. Alright, so we're going to go Sera over here in Lamentis 1. Oh, hang on. So, traditionally, you would want a Sera in Lamentis 1 so you could go Brood, Fantastic in Subterranea and then Surfer them all. The problem with that is you lose to Professor X if you do that. So we need to not lose to Professor X, is the plan. So we play Sera in Subterranea so that we don't have no stats in a location. Otherwise, we can just get punked. Which we obviously don't want to happen. So hopefully, Brood, Silver Surfer is good enough to win Subterranea. Need to not accidentally lose to Professor X. Glad that we stopped and thought about that. It's the kind of thing that you can lose a game with out of nowhere if you just don't stop and think about what the Daredevil is possibly enabling. There are a number of things Daredevil does enable. It's a good card. Opponent is in the tank. I think there was a Professor X on the other side here. I think they were quite hopeful that we played into Lamentis. Wow, okay. So now we have to get lucky. Yeah, now we have to get lucky, right? Let's see. We do get to shrink the lizard this way, so... Why is that lizard not shrunk? It doesn't end up mattering. But, oh, of course, Enchantress. Duh. Well, that would have been bad. If I'd lost because I'd forgotten this, that would have been kind of embarrassing. Thankfully, largely irrelevant. So we are at 95. There you go. That'll be a nice one to end on today, I think. And hopefully we can carry on the climb with you a little bit more for tomorrow. Fingers crossed.